are two different ways I like to do my shelves. This was the original way I did it because I wanted 3 shelves. And I think you really have to base what your ending outcome, what you're actually looking for. But I'll show you how mine are spaced. I think overall this is a perfect amount of spacing. I have another shelf that I'll show you that there's still 3 shelves, but they're farther apart, but there's actually less floor space for taller plants. So I really think you have to figure out what kind of plants you want and how big they're gonna get. From the floor to this bottom shelf is about 39 inches. 16, about 15 and a half. And then this one has a little bit more space, 2 foot. So from ceiling to this top shelf is 2 foot. From this shelf to this shelf is 15 and a half inches. From this shelf to this shelf is about 16 inches. And this bottom shelf to the floor is about 39 inches. The floor plants kind of get taller. They come out from under that shelf. So I like how it softens up that bottom shelf. I have some alocasia here that do kind of grow out from that shelf. But this alocasia over here, I'm going to have to move it because it's growing right up to that light and it's starting to burn touching the light. And that's not what I want. I am going to move that. So for taller plants like that, it's really inconvenient. But for these trailing plants, it's kind of perfect. And I love how it softens up the edge of that shelf. So you almost don't even see the shelves. So upright growth in between them can get a little tricky, but you could always just figure out specific plants to fit in there. And then they also kind of just grow out from under the shelf. So I think it just depends on their growth habit. These are my newest set of shelves. The shelves over there, I had cut these boards down the middle to make them a lot thinner. These ones are a lot thicker and I really like that. I don't think over there it would be feasible because that is the walking path in the living room. This one is right when you come into the entrance, not really protruding much in an aisleway. So that's what I like about these. Much less space down at the bottom here. Yeah, 26 inches from floor to that shelf. 21 inches. 22.25 inches. And from ceiling to that shelf is 25 inches. These spaces in between there, I think I could do a lot more taller plants, like this rattlesnake calathea. There's this anthurium growing good in there. I really like this spacing between these shelves. The only thing that is different is I can't have those big tree plants down here, floor plants. And that's really okay because I like to have them all over there in that aisleway. So this does work and I make things work. I use heavy duty brackets and just pine wood and stain them to whatever stain color I want. I did have this brilliant idea to put a curtain rod thing here to hang plants and I didn't realize how low it was. So it wasn't as brilliant as I thought it would be. But overall, I'm really happy with how these are. I think in the future, I want to do a completely different system and kind of get away from the shelves. But until then, it's working for me. So I hope that was helpful.